Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We are asked to approve the withdrawal agreement and the political declaration. I will vote against them because they are not in our national interest. I do not believe they represent the will of this House. They do not represent the will of our country, which is why I think we have to give this issue back to the people with the option to keep our current deal a far superior arrangement. Now, some will say that's unsurprising. I represent the area that scored the highest Remain vote in the country. And you know, it's almost as if what my constituents think doesn't count. Because ever since 2016, there's been this deliberate attempt to dismiss areas like mine that voted Remain and to divide them off from areas that voted Leave. Despite the multifaceted nature of the result and the fact it was evenly balanced, 17.4 to 16.1 million, areas like mine are sometimes treated like a small minority and airily referred to as being liberal, metropolitan and elite. But Lambeth, we are proud to be metropolitan and we're proud of our liberal values, but we are anything but an elite. We are the 8th most deprived local authority area in England. A third of the children living in our borough are living in poverty. We have higher rates of unemployment and we have more acute social problems than many of the areas that voted to leave. So my constituents have got grievances too. No one side of this debate has a monopoly on grievance. The only difference is that in Lambeth we did not believe that leaving the European Union would do anything to help us or solve the problems I've just referred to. And nothing in this withdrawal agreement or the political declaration gives us any reason to think otherwise. And for those who did vote to leave, what were they promised? And has this withdrawal agreement and declaration delivered it? And the member who just spoke before me is absolutely right. It is important that these promises are kept. Now, Vote Leave, and I note that the Environment Secretary, who was the co-leader of that campaign, said the government would renegotiate new trade deals which would immediately take effect on exit day. Where are those trade deals? I'll give way to him if he wants to tell us where they are, because we know they are nowhere to be seen and we won't see any of them in March 2019. Vote Leave will know that he chunters from a sedentary position. Not one trade deal will be in place in March 2019. I'm happy to give way if he wants to disabuse this House of that fact, but he knows that is not going to happen. Vote Leave also promised that trade with the EU would not be harmed. The Prime Minister has already acknowledged we will have less market access and trade will be harmed in her Mansion House speech. The government's own economic impact assessments are telling us we'll be poorer as a result. And then, of course, there was that ridiculous promise, the £350 million extra per week that we were told would go to the NHS. A straightforward lie which I will not dignify with any further attention. But I want to address what is sometimes the elephant in the room: immigration. If there was one factor above all else driving the vote, it was this and the issue of EU free movement. It was exploited, I might say, in the most disgusting way. Remember Vote Leave's claim that millions of Turkish people would be coming to our country, bringing criminality and threatening our security. It was an absolute disgrace, and those involved with making those claims should hang their heads in shame. Now, there is, of course, concern about the levels of EU immigration. And let's be honest, views are stronger in respect of non-EU immigration. And there are parallels between the discontent in some Leave voting areas about EU immigration and the discontent regarding the immigration we've had in this country from the 1950s. There was, after all, a form of free movement from the Commonwealth up until 1971. My father was part of that. And I do not deny immigration poses economic and cultural challenges in parts of our country. But if you implement the right policies, it need not do so. But what are the real underlying causes of concern about immigration? Not enough well-paid and decent jobs, not enough decent affordable housing, a shortage of school places, an NHS in crisis. But the fact is, these problems are not going to disappear or be mitigated if we exit, be it with this withdrawal agreement and declaration or in any other way of Brexit. Because as the government's own Migration Advisory Committee has said, immigration has no or little impact on the overall employment conditions or outcomes of UK-born citizens. Immigration is not a major determinant of the wages of UK-born workers. Immigrants are a small fraction of people in social housing, and above all, EU immigrants contribute so much more to the health service and the provision of social care and financial resources and through work than they consume in services. So it is absolutely clear ending free movement is not going to solve the problems we have as a country. And we've got to treat our constituents, everyone in this country, like adults on this and be honest about it. I am fed up hearing people say, well, people express concerns about immigration. Of course we should engage with that. But let us not lie and say that we agree that it is caused by all of these EU immigrants people refer to. The fact is, governments on both sides of this House have not delivered enough for people, and that is the problem here, not immigration. So where does that leave us? The truth is we've got absolutely no idea, because we don't know what the post-Brexit immigration arrangements are proposed to be. We don't know what our future economic relationship is